Are you ready to embark on an adventure that reveals the remarkable engineering, global cooperation, and time-honored traditions behind one of the world's most beloved chocolate bars? In this deep exploration, we will pull back the curtain to take you through the complete life cycle of a Kit Kat, starting from the lush, humid cocoa farms on the other side of the world and culminating in those neat, iconic bars in your local store's candy aisle. By staying with us until the very end, you'll gain surprising insights into the cutting-edge technologies, sustainable farming initiatives, intricate logistics systems, cultural influences, and human ingenuity that all ensure each Kit Kat bar remains consistently crisp, creamy, and delicious. They're so well engineered that I'm starting to think these bars have a better work ethic than I do. Meanwhile, I'm still waiting for my coffee to inspire greatness. You'll learn what it takes to produce these treats on a massive scale, millions of bars per day, while keeping quality and flavor intact. Millions per day. That's more Kit Kats than my willpower can handle in a lifetime. I've got no chance resisting a break every 5 minutes. As we proceed, you'll discover how small farmers, experienced engineers, expert tasters, and automated robotic systems each play a critical role. You'll see how flavors develop long before beans ever reach a factory, why certain shapes and textures are engineered with scientific precision, and how innovations promise even more exciting possibilities in the future. Imagine for just a moment that you're holding a Kit Kat bar. Perhaps you're already familiar with its satisfying snap, or you've seen unusual flavors that appear in different parts of the world. By the time we conclude, the simple act of breaking off a Kit Kat finger will feel different to you. You'll understand the delicate equilibrium between raw nature and refined science, the craftsmanship passed down over generations, and the global network of individuals who make each bite possible. Along the way, we'll show you the delicate harvesting of cocoa pods in West Africa, the careful fermentation and drying that shape a chocolate's flavor profile, the high-tech roasting techniques that bring out aromatic complexity, and the highly choreographed production lines that run day and night to meet global demand. Before we get into the heart of this journey, think about how you usually eat a Kit Kat. Do you neatly break it along the grooves, savoring each crispy wafer finger one by one? Or do you just take a big bite, ignoring any unspoken rules? There's no right or wrong way, but reflecting on these habits turns out to be surprisingly meaningful. It connects us to a global community of Kit Kat enthusiasts who each have their own ritual and preferred flavor. Some might love the original milk chocolate variety, while others crave the subtle complexity of matcha-flavored Kit Kats found in Japan, or the peanut butter or strawberry cheesecake versions that pop up in different markets. Wherever you stand on this small yet personal debate, prepare to gain a richer understanding of the bar itself, an understanding that will make your next Kit Kat moment all the more enjoyable. The journey begins far from the polished floors and gleaming equipment of a mega factory. It starts in the tropics of West Africa, where the climate is warm, humid, and ideal for growing cocoa trees. Countries like Côte d'Ivoire and Ghana collectively produce more than 70% of the world's cocoa supply. Strolling through a cocoa plantation, you'd see pods of various shapes and colors: green, yellow, orange, red, even purple, nestled among broad leaves. Each pod conceals precious cocoa beans embedded in sweet, white pulp. Skilled farmers determine when to harvest these pods not by guesswork alone, but by their deep understanding of local conditions and the subtle changes in pod coloration and texture. Twice a year, during main and mid-crop seasons, they walk through these groves, machetes in hand, carefully cutting ripe pods from trees. Every cut must be precise. Too early, and the beans lack complexity. Too late, and the pods might begin to ferment right on the tree, damaging flavor potential. The farmer's knowledge is rooted in generations of collective experience, passed down through families and communities. Inside each pod are 20 to 50 cocoa beans. Not every bean will make it into a chocolate bar. Only the best, most flavorful beans are destined to become high-quality chocolate. After harvesting, the beans undergo a critical stage, fermentation, arranged in heaps or placed in wooden boxes covered with banana leaves. The beans ferment over several days. This process, governed by wild yeasts and bacteria, creates a cascade of chemical reactions that break down the pulp and transform the bean's flavor potential. Without this step, chocolate would taste flat, missing the deep, nuanced complexity we associate with premium cocoa. Farmers know to turn the beans at the right times, ensuring proper aeration and temperature control. After 5 to 7 days, the beans have developed the compounds that will lead to rich chocolate flavors later on. Next comes drying. Spread out in the sun on large mats or raised racks, the beans must lose excess moisture while retaining the delicate flavor notes acquired through fermentation. Farmers carefully rotate them to ensure even drying and watch the weather closely, because unexpected rain or too intense sunlight can shift the moisture content outside the ideal range. This labor-intensive process is no trivial matter. At this early stage, the destiny of your future Kit Kat is being shaped. The beans must be perfect, aromatic, flavorful, and stable for the next steps in the journey. After drying, the beans are packed into burlap sacks and transported to ports. From here, these humble little seeds undertake a global voyage, riding cargo ships across oceans and continents until they arrive at specialized processing facilities owned or contracted by Nestlé, the company behind Kit Kat. At modern ports, advanced logistics and sophisticated tracking systems ensure that every shipment of cocoa beans is monitored. Temperature, humidity, and other conditions are controlled so that by the time beans reach their destination, their quality and flavor remain intact. The process is a fine-tuned network of cooperation involving farmers, exporters, importers, logistics specialists, and quality inspectors. Each player ensures that the beans arrive safely and in top condition, ready for the next stage of transformation. At the factory level, these beans do not go straight into chocolate-making machinery. First, they undergo another round of rigorous examination. High-tech sensors, optical sorters, and automated systems check each batch for foreign matter, off-size beans, or any irregularities. Beans are graded, sometimes blended, and stored in silos with climate control to preserve their quality until it's time to roast. The roasting process, a closely guarded secret for many chocolate manufacturers, involves applying precise temperature and time profiles to develop the beans' full aromatic potential. Roasting reduces bitterness, brings out warm chocolatey notes, and lays the foundation for the flavor you'll soon experience in a Kit Kat bar. These proprietary roasting curves might vary slightly from one factory to another, fine-tuned over decades to produce a consistent, signature taste profile that consumers expect from Kit Kat. Once roasted, the beans are cracked and winnowed to remove their outer shells, revealing cocoa nibs. These nibs contain the essence of chocolate, cocoa solids, and cocoa butter. Ground into a thick paste known as chocolate liquor, No alcohol involved, this dark, fragrant substance forms the base of all chocolate products. For Kit Kat, chocolate liquor will soon mingle with sugar, milk powder, and a hint of vegetable fats to create that distinctive milk chocolate that coats every bar. Technicians and chocolatiers carefully measure each ingredient. Even a tiny deviation in sugar-to-cocoa ratio or the quality of milk powder can alter texture, sweetness, and aroma. In massive mixers, the ingredients come together and the mixture then passes through refining rollers that break down any remaining coarse particles. The result is a smooth, velvety chocolate mixture. Conching follows, a process of continuous mixing, aerating, and gently heating the chocolate mass over several hours, or sometimes an entire day. During conching, undesirable bitter notes evaporate, and the mixture's flavor becomes well-rounded and harmonious. The chocolate becomes smoother, creamier, and more balanced, ensuring that when you finally taste it in your Kit Kat, it melts evenly on your tongue and releases its flavors gradually rather than all at once. By the end of this phase, the chocolate is ready to meet its perfect partner, the wafer. The wafer is a seemingly simple component made from flour, sugar, and a bit of fat, but achieving the delicate crispiness and uniformity required at an industrial scale is no small feat. Batter consistency is carefully monitored so that when it's spread into thin sheets and baked, the wafer emerges flawless every time. Light, airy, and crisp, high-speed sensors measure wafer thickness to fractions of a millimeter, ensuring each sheet conforms to strict specifications. Even subtle variations could alter the iconic Kit Kat snap or leave you with a wafer that's too thick or too brittle. The wafer's subtle flavor is intentionally mild, designed to complement rather than overshadow the chocolate. One of the clever secrets in Kit Kat production is the practice of grinding up bars that don't meet quality standards and using them in the wafer filling. This closed-loop system reduces waste, maintains flavor consistency, and ensures a steady supply of filling material. In essence, Kit Kats help make more Kit Kats, reflecting a thoughtful approach to efficiency and sustainability. This is no small consideration at the massive scales we're discussing. Even a fraction of a % improvement in resource use can have meaningful environmental and economic impacts. Tempering the chocolate is the next critical step before assembly. Cocoa butter crystals can form in several ways, but only one crystalline structure gives chocolate its stable, glossy finish and satisfying snap. Tempering precisely controls heating and cooling phases to achieve this crystal form. If done correctly, you get that crisp snap when you break off a Kit Kat finger. If not, the chocolate might appear dull or develop a whitish bloom on its surface. Tempering machines adjust temperature within a degree or two, guided by intricate feedback loops that ensure stability and shine. Now, the chocolate and wafers are ready to come together in one of the most mesmerizing displays of modern food manufacturing. Picture a vast production hall where automated lines stack wafer sheets with chocolate layers in between. Robotic arms grip delicate wafers and lay them down with unwavering precision. Conveyor belts move continuously, never faltering, as chocolate is deposited onto wafers in measured amounts. Each step is carefully timed to ensure a perfect ratio of chocolate to wafer. After stacking, the wafer books are sliced into individual fingers. Then, each finger is coated in a final layer of chocolate, Thousands of Kit Kats move along these lines every minute, a ballet of machinery governed by engineers who monitor productivity, consistency, and quality metrics in real time. With bars formed, it's time for packaging. The iconic red and white wrapper is instantly recognizable, and just like everything else in this process, packaging must be done at breathtaking speeds without sacrificing precision. Printed wrappers come off large spools guided by rollers and sensors that align the wrapper's design with the bar's position. Mechanical jaws fold and seal wrappers at incredible rates, often monitored by high-speed cameras to ensure proper alignment. If a wrapper is off-center or a bar is misshapen, the system rejects it instantly. Packaging lines can handle various pack sizes, from single bars to multi-packs, adapting on the fly to different market requirements. Quality control is not confined to a single checkpoint. It's woven throughout the entire journey. Cocoa beans are analyzed for flavor, moisture, and even chemical composition. Chocolate mixtures are checked for particle size and viscosity, and wafers are tested for crispness and thickness. Finished bars undergo checks for shape, weight, appearance, and the characteristic snap. Some facilities employ professional tasting panels, experts who train their palates to identify even subtle deviations in flavor or texture. These chocolate tasters sample products daily, ensuring that a Kit Kat tastes equally delightful whether you're enjoying it in London, Tokyo, or New York. Global distribution and logistics form the next monumental step. After packaging, Kit Kats are boxed, palletized, and shipped worldwide via trucks, trains, ships, and planes. Digital logistics systems track shipments in real time, ensuring timely deliveries to retailers. Special editions tailored to local tastes, like green tea Kit Kats in Japan or specialty flavors inspired by local fruits, require nimble distribution networks. Factories and warehouses rely on predictive software to anticipate seasonal spikes in demand, promotional campaigns, and cultural events that might affect sales. This advanced forecasting ensures your favorite variety is ready and waiting on the shelf whenever you crave it. Sustainability and ethical considerations are increasingly at the forefront of this global operation. Nestlé aims for 100% certified sustainable cocoa, ensuring that farmers receive fair wages, training, and support in adopting eco-friendly practices. Beyond cocoa sourcing, factories invest in greener technologies, more efficient machines that save energy, production processes that minimize water usage, and research into eco-friendly or compostable packaging materials. The future might see biodegradable wrappers that maintain freshness and brand identity while leaving a smaller environmental footprint. Supply chain transparency and fair trade are not just marketing slogans. They are core values driving continuous improvement, ensuring that enjoyment of a Kit Kat does not come at the planet's expense. Inside mega factories, a synergy of human skill and robotic precision underpins the entire operation. While machines handle repetitive tasks and fine-tuned measurements, human workers remain essential. Engineers fine-tune sensors, technicians perform maintenance, and food safety specialists ensure that every piece of equipment and every surface meets strict hygiene standards. Workers troubleshoot unexpected issues on the fly, solve complex mechanical or software problems, and ensure that automated lines run smoothly. It's a partnership that leverages the best of both worlds, the tireless efficiency of machines and the creative adaptability of humans. Kit Kat is not merely a chocolate bar, it's a global cultural icon. In Japan, Kit Kat is considered a lucky charm, often gifted to students before exams, due to its name sounding like Kirokatsu, which can translate to surely win. Special flavors emerge all over the world, capturing local preferences. Some regions offer Kit Kats flavored with wasabi, sweet potato, or regional fruits. In other places, you might find limited edition variants that reflect local desserts or beverages. This cultural adaptation requires factories to be flexible, adjusting recipes and packaging to meet diverse tastes. But no matter where you are, the essence of a Kit Kat remains the same: crisp wafer, creamy chocolate, and a comforting snap that transcends borders. Ongoing research and development ensure that Kit Kat remains relevant as tastes evolve. Food scientists experiment with different cocoa varieties, tweak conching times, and adjust sugar levels to respond to shifting consumer preferences. Some experiments lead to permanent changes or new product lines. Others become limited edition releases that spark social media buzz and collector enthusiasm. The constant drive to innovate ensures Kit Kat can surprise and delight future generations, adapting to culinary trends while preserving its core identity. Remember that behind every bar is a multitude of human stories. Cocoa farmers invest years into perfecting their crops. Engineers dedicate their careers to improving machinery and controls. Chocolate tasters develop refined palates to detect subtle nuances. Navigate complex logistics routes to bring products to market on time. Store clerks arrange products on shelves with care. When you unwrap a Kit Kat, you are partaking in a chain of collaboration that spans continents, connecting you with farmers, scientists, technicians, and countless others you may never meet, but whose combined efforts enhance your moment of pleasure. Modern technology makes it possible to produce millions of Kit Kats daily without compromising on quality. Automation reduces human error, enhancing safety and consistency. Real-time data analytics enable quick responses to changes in ingredient quality or equipment efficiency. If a sensor detects even a minor variation in chocolate viscosity, adjustments can be made before it impacts taste. This symbiosis of tradition and technology ensures that the Kit Kat you enjoy today maintains the same cherished qualities as one made decades ago. Reflect now on the complete journey, from humid cocoa farms to sun-drenched drying racks, from global sea voyages to towering silos, from roasting rooms and conching vats to assembly lines and packaging stations. We've seen cocoa beans fermented under banana leaves transform into smooth chocolate liquor, blended with sugar and milk, shaped into delicate wafers, and perfected through tempering. We've witnessed high-speed assembly lines stack wafers and coat them in chocolate, while robotic arms wrap bars in iconic foil at astonishing speeds. We've explored sustainability efforts, cultural impact, continuous innovation, and the vital interplay of human expertise and robotic precision. All these elements converge to bring you that delightful, comforting moment when you snap off a piece of Kit Kat. After understanding everything that goes into making a Kit Kat, it's natural to appreciate it more. The next time you break off a finger, consider the centuries of chocolate-making tradition, the decades of refining production processes, and the global community of skilled professionals who made it possible. What once seemed like a simple candy now reveals itself as a marvel of agricultural finesse, industrial engineering, cultural adaptation, and human collaboration. Perhaps this journey encourages you to look more closely at other everyday items, to understand the effort and care behind their production, and to value the global tapestry of knowledge and skill that underpins them. As we wrap up this in-depth exploration, remember that every bite of KitKat is supported by a complex ecosystem of farmers, scientists, engineers, and innovators who strive to make each bar the best it can be. From a single cocoa bean to millions of bars produced daily, this story offers a window into human ingenuity and technological excellence. Consider subscribing to follow more deep dives into how everyday items are brought to life. Turn on notifications so you never miss a story. And next time you unwrap a KitKat, savor not just the taste, but the incredible odyssey that made it possible. It's also worth considering the human element that extends beyond the factory floor and beyond the farmer's fields. Every link in the chain, every cocoa farmer, engineer, logistics coordinator, taste tester, marketing professional, and retail employee has their own story, their own motivation. Some farmers learned to care for cocoa trees from grandparents who knew the subtle patterns of weather and soil long before data analytics became common. These farmers pass on their knowledge to the next generation, ensuring that the delicate art of cocoa cultivation persists even as newer agricultural techniques, organic certifications, and sustainability guidelines reshape their day-to-day work. Meanwhile, technicians in the factories may come from engineering backgrounds where precision and quality control are paramount, or perhaps from culinary paths where flavor subtleties guide every decision. What unites them is a shared commitment to excellence, to making each KitKat bar as good as it can possibly be. Consider the immense diversity of roles and skill sets involved. You have microbiologists who study the fermentation process on cocoa farms, exploring how changes in microbial communities affect the bean's flavor potential. There are packaging designers who must balance aesthetics, brand recognition, and ease of opening wrappers with long-term environmental goals. Graphic artists refine the iconic logo and seasonal designs that catch your eye in the store. Consumer insight specialists analyze feedback from taste tests, online reviews, social media chatter, and focus groups, determining which new flavors or limited editions are likely to capture public imagination. This interconnected web of expertise ensures that as each bar is produced, it is not merely an isolated product of a single process, but the outcome of countless decisions informed by science, tradition, creativity, and cultural understanding. As we look toward the future, the technologies and methods behind KitKat production are set to evolve even further. Artificial intelligence could play a role in predicting flavor trends or optimizing roasting profiles. For example, algorithms might analyze consumer feedback from thousands of social media posts and correlate those preferences with regional climate conditions that affect cocoa bean characteristics. Virtual reality might be used to train workers remotely, allowing them to experience the machinery and assembly lines in a simulated environment before stepping foot in the factory. Blockchain technology could track the journey of every single cocoa bean, from seedling to store shelf, providing unprecedented transparency and allowing consumers to verify the ethical and sustainable origins of their favorite treats. Sustainability will continue to be a driving force as climate change and environmental pressures influence cocoa growing regions. Programs that encourage farmers to use shade trees, maintain soil health, and preserve biodiversity are not just buzzwords. They are crucial steps in ensuring that cocoa production remains viable and profitable for generations to come. Investments in education and community support help farmers diversify their income streams, weather economic fluctuations, and continue to supply the world with high-quality beans. Factories will experiment with alternative energy sources, more efficient water use, and further reductions in waste. Perhaps biodegradable wrappers that fully break down into nutrient-rich compost will become standard, aligning the enjoyment of chocolate with a more harmonious relationship to the planet. Cultural adaptation is another fertile frontier. We've seen how certain markets embrace unique flavors that reflect local customs or culinary heritages. In the future, this customization could become even more pronounced, with micro batches tailored to very specific regions or communities. Imagine visiting a local shop in some distant city and discovering a Kit Kat variety infused with a locally treasured spice or fruit unknown elsewhere. Through these localized offerings, a global brand can serve as a canvas for culinary creativity, bridging continents with a single product that takes on many regional identities. There's also the matter of health and nutrition. While Kit Kat is a treat, there is ongoing research into reducing sugar content, incorporating alternative sweeteners, or enhancing certain nutritional aspects without compromising flavor. Balancing indulgence and well-being is a challenge that many confectionery brands face. In the years to come, subtle reforms might occur: slightly less sugar, a tweak in cocoa ratios, or an introduction of fortifying ingredients that allow consumers to enjoy their break time snack with a bit more peace of mind. Such innovations must be approached with care, maintaining that essential Kit Kat essence that people love so dearly. Achieving healthier profiles is about walking a fine line, improving nutritional aspects without sacrificing the fundamental pleasure that has defined Kit Kat for decades. The journey of a Kit Kat is, in many ways, a metaphor for the world's interconnectedness. A cocoa farmer's meticulous cultivation practices on one continent influence the flavor experience of someone unwrapping a chocolate bar thousands of miles away. A factory engineer's careful calibration of a machine can shape the sensory delight of a consumer who might never think about the technology behind that perfect snap. The decisions made by corporate sustainability teams, investing in farmer training programs, optimizing water usage, and seeking fair trade certifications may not be visible in the final product's appearance, but they resonate ethically and emotionally, allowing consumers to feel good about their purchase, knowing it supports responsible practices. If you've ever thought of a Kit Kat as just another candy bar, perhaps now you see how it is so much more. It's a global enterprise of flavor refinement, agricultural stewardship, mechanical precision, cultural sensitivity, and forward-looking innovation. Each bar carries silent stories of countless hands and minds working in harmony, often across language barriers, cultural divides, and time zones. It's a testament to what humanity can achieve when working together, from the farm to the factory and beyond. There is something deeply reassuring about this continuity. Generations of craftsmen and women have refined chocolate-making techniques. Engineers have harnessed automation to make mass production both feasible and reliable. Farmers have tended to their crops with care, allowing nature's complexity to unfold within the humble cocoa bean. And the end result is a product that is at once accessible, affordable, and widely loved. Even as trends come and go, and even as technologies evolve, the familiarity and comfort of a Kit Kat remain constant. By understanding this journey, you may find yourself pausing next time before you take a bite. Perhaps you'll consider the human effort involved, the layers of scientific understanding required to maintain product consistency, and the cultural dialogue sparked by different flavors around the world. Maybe you'll remember that dedicated chocolate tasters spend part of each day ensuring that your bar tastes just right, or that precision equipment hums away in a factory, guided by invisible waves of data, all to guarantee that the shape and texture meet the iconic Kit Kat standard. From the tang of fermented cocoa beans on a West African farm to the soft glow of a packaging line's conveyor belts half a world away, each Kit Kat bar unites far-flung places and people into a single, familiar experience. This convergence of time, distance, science, tradition, and art is what makes Kit Kat more than just a snack. It's a nexus of global cooperation, a subtle messenger of taste and texture that carries hints of nature, history, innovation, and hope for a more sustainable future. As you finish your next Kit Kat, consider the possibility that the ritual itself, whether you break a finger off or bite right in, is shaped by the collective efforts of everyone involved. You are taking part in an ongoing story that continues to unfold. Your purchase supports farmers who take pride in their harvest, encourages factories to keep refining their processes, and inspires researchers and product developers to push the boundaries of what chocolate can be. And by sharing your thoughts, perhaps in a comment section or a conversation with friends, you contribute to the ongoing dialogue that guides Kit Kat's evolution and ensures it remains something cherished across the globe. In the end, the true value of understanding how a Kit Kat is made lies in its ability to reconnect us with the objects we consume. In a world where products seem to appear magically on shelves, pausing to recognize the complexity and care behind a simple chocolate bar can remind us that everything has a story, every flavor has a past, and every wrapper conceals a tapestry of human endeavors. This understanding can enrich not only your appreciation of chocolate, but also broaden your view of countless other items in your daily life. It demonstrates that when we pay attention, we find craftsmanship, creativity, and commitment embedded in the most familiar treats, revealing a deeper layer of meaning that makes every moment of enjoyment more profound. Yet, there is still more to ponder. The global network that gives rise to each Kit Kat bar is not static. Every year, new techniques and insights push the boundaries of what is possible. On the agricultural side, research institutes and universities partner with farmer cooperatives to explore new cocoa varietals that might be more resilient to changing climates, diseases, or pests. By grafting hardy rootstocks onto flavorful varieties, scientists work to create cocoa trees that yield beans with even richer flavors and stable harvests, ensuring that the traditions of chocolate making can endure environmental uncertainty. These horticultural advances help farmers sustain their livelihoods and continue contributing to the tapestry of tastes that define chocolate's global appeal. Factory floors, once dominated by mechanical assembly lines, increasingly feature robotic arms guided by sophisticated machine learning systems. These machines can sense subtle shifts in chocolate viscosity, wafer thickness, or wrapper alignment and correct course instantaneously. Imagine a robotic system that can learn over time, improving its efficiency and reducing waste by detecting patterns invisible to the human eye. Such systems might tweak a temperature setting mid-shift or adjust the speed of a conveyor belt based on fluctuations in ingredient quality. As processors get faster and algorithms grow more refined, continuous optimization will become the norm, leading to even higher standards of quality and consistency. Consumer expectations also evolve. The global palate is more adventurous than ever before. While the classic milk chocolate Kit Kat remains a cherished staple, younger generations may seek new taste experiences, textures, or nutritional profiles. Some might crave a darker chocolate version with a bolder flavor, while others might want reduced sugar options that still deliver indulgent satisfaction. Across borders, cultural exchange and exposure to diverse cuisines inspire confectioners to experiment. Could a future Kit Kat incorporate flavors borrowed from a rising culinary trend, like a herbaceous infusion or a subtle hint of a floral ingredient? As consumer insights become more data-driven, companies can respond swiftly, launching seasonal or limited edition flavors that keep the brand exciting and relevant. These new profiles may appear first in a single country or region, generating excitement and long lines at specialty shops before spreading internationally if they prove popular. The social dimension is equally important. Increasingly, people care not just about taste, price, or convenience, but also about the ethics behind the products they buy. With growing awareness around child labor issues, fair wages, and land rights, major players in the chocolate industry must commit to transparent and responsible sourcing. Already, programs support farmers in achieving certifications that attest to ethical labor practices and environmental stewardship. In the future, digital platforms might allow consumers to scan a code on their Kit Kat wrapper and trace its cocoa beans back to a particular farming community, learning about the family who nurtured those trees. This level of transparency can turn a simple purchase into a moment of learning and connection, strengthening the bond between consumers and producers. In addition, global health conversations may influence certain aspects of product formulation. With the world paying attention to sugar intake, portion sizes, and dietary restrictions, brands like Kit Kat will look for ways to remain inclusive and accessible. Maybe this means offering gluten-free wafer versions for those with celiac disease, or crafting recipes that accommodate more dietary preferences, whether vegan, lactose-free, or lower in certain allergens. Such adaptations ensure that everyone can enjoy the pleasure of a Kit Kat break in a manner that aligns with their personal health needs and values. The brand's cultural resonance also continues to grow. In many countries, Kit Kat is woven into the social fabric associated with certain holidays, rituals, or events. In Japan, a special regional flavor might become a treasured souvenir, each variety telling a story of local ingredients or culinary heritage. In other markets, promotional campaigns might tie Kit Kat consumption to moments of personal achievement, relaxation, or comfort. Over time, these cultural dialogues evolve, influenced by new media, global travel, and the power of social networks. Fans share photos of exotic flavors, exchange tips on where to find rare editions, and compare notes on unique ways to enjoy their bars. What was once a private, small-scale pleasure now connects people across borders, generations, and lifestyles. As all of these dynamics unfold, the Kit Kat supply chain remains a remarkable study in coordination. Logistics experts refine their models for predicting demand, navigating trade regulations, and mitigating risks like supply interruptions. Emerging technologies could allow factories to ramp production up or down more flexibly, responding to real-time market signals without compromising the principles of efficiency or sustainability. Cargo ships, trucks, and distribution centers might integrate renewable energy sources, electric vehicles, and smarter inventory management to reduce the carbon footprint of shipping these bars around the world. These improvements turn the wheels of commerce more smoothly and responsibly, reflecting a conscientious approach to feeding popular demand while caring for the planet that sustains us. Educational outreach will also play a role. As consumers grow more curious, manufacturers may create materials, virtual tours, or augmented reality experiences to illustrate the journey of the cocoa bean. Imagine pointing your phone at a Kit Kat wrapper and seeing an immersive timeline pop up, guiding you through farms, factories, and flavor labs in a matter of seconds. This interactive storytelling can deepen appreciation, inviting people to slow down in a world that moves at breakneck speed. By understanding the intricate processes and the people behind them, consumers might develop a more respectful and mindful relationship with their food. Beyond the realm of KitKat, these insights can serve as a template for understanding many other everyday products. If so much care, innovation, and collaboration go into producing a single chocolate wafer bar, how much complexity and craft underlie other items we take for granted? From coffee and tea to electronics and clothing, every product has its own journey, shaped by similar forces of agriculture, manufacturing, technology, logistics, ethics, and cultural meaning. Reflecting on KitKat production can inspire a broader curiosity and responsibility in our consumption patterns, prompting us to appreciate not just what we buy, but how and why it comes into our lives. This continuous learning and improvement cycle never truly ends. As long as there is a desire for that familiar, crisp, creamy flavor, as long as people find joy in breaking off a piece and sharing it with a friend, the entire network behind KitKat will keep evolving. Farmers will embrace new agricultural knowledge, factories will refine their processes, and researchers will study how to make chocolate even more delectable. Consumers will continue voicing their preferences, pushing the brand to reinvent and rediscover itself without losing the essence that made it iconic. At its core, the KitKat story is one of creativity meeting precision, nature meeting technology, and tradition meeting innovation. It's about people who take pride in their work, whether cultivating cocoa trees under tropical suns or calibrating machines in cool, modern facilities. It's about the fusion of science and art, the interplay of local flavor and global brand consistency. Above all, it's about delight, the simple, deeply human pleasure of savoring something tasty and comforting, secure in the knowledge that behind this small treat lies a vast and intricate world, working in harmony to ensure every bite feels like a perfect break from the ordinary. In this sense, each KitKat bar is more than just a snack. It's a reminder of what can be achieved when we respect the land, value the hands that shape our food, and embrace the possibilities of technology without abandoning the wisdom of the past. With each shift in consumer tastes, each new farming technique, each packaging innovation, and each cultural reinterpretation, the story continues to unfold. It's a tale of endless refinement, guided by curiosity, care, and the collective pursuit of pleasure and purpose. And so, the next time you open a KitKat, no matter where you are, what flavor you choose, or how you prefer to eat it, remember that you're not only enjoying a timeless treat, but also partaking in a living narrative that spans continents, generations, and dreams yet to be realized. It's remarkable that something as seemingly simple as a chocolate wafer bar can serve as a doorway into a broader understanding of the complex world we inhabit. Stopping to consider the path of a KitKat invites a heightened awareness of the systems that bring everyday pleasures within our reach. One could argue that this awareness nurtures greater appreciation and empathy, allowing us to see how our choices as consumers reverberate through communities and ecosystems around the globe. When you know that farmers must adapt to climate shifts or refine their fermentation methods to ensure the beans develop just the right aromatic profile, you might find yourself valuing each bite more deeply. By recognizing that engineers and technicians devote time to perfecting wafer thickness and chocolate viscosity, you become more attuned to the delicate interplay of factors that shape a product's familiar comforts. Perhaps this reflection can also inspire you to support the ideals that help produce such consistent quality. Knowing the extensive efforts behind every KitKat may prompt you to consider sustainability certifications, fair trade labels, and transparent supply chains when making other purchases. This mindset can cascade into different aspects of life, influencing how you choose fruits and vegetables at the market, how you evaluate products that claim to be ethically sourced, or even how you select items that reflect your personal values. The story behind KitKat production serves as a model for understanding that no product exists in isolation. Each is woven into a tapestry of human effort, natural resources, cultural influences, and continuous improvement. There is also something poetic in how this global collaboration allows a simple treat to transcend geography. Even if you've never set foot in a cocoa farm, you've tasted the farmer's skill. Even if you've never spoken to an engineer, you've experienced the technical mastery embedded in every crisp bite. These invisible connections remind us that we participate in a global community of creators, innovators, and caretakers of quality. Through the lens of a single product, we witness a microcosm of what it means to work together toward a common goal, each person contributing their unique talents and perspectives. From a historical perspective, chocolate itself has come a long way. Originally consumed in bitter-spiced beverages by ancient Mesoamerican civilizations, it has evolved into a confection adored worldwide. The journey of KitKat is but one chapter in chocolate's long and fascinating history. Over centuries, colonization, trade, industrialization, and cultural exchange have molded chocolate into countless forms. Yet few can claim the consistent global presence and affectionate consumer base that KitKat enjoys today. Understanding this lineage enriches the experience further, reminding us that this mass-produced treat is also the inheritor of traditions, experiments, and breakthroughs stretching far into the past. As consumer demographics shift, the meaning of a KitKat break may also change. Younger generations might interpret it not just as a sweet snack, but as a tiny indulgence in a hectic day, a moment of self-care, or even as a nostalgic reminder of childhood treats. Older generations might recall a time before the proliferation of flavors and varieties, when the standard milk chocolate wafer bar was itself a novelty and a delight. Each era imprints its own cultural and emotional significance onto the brand. The ability of KitKat to persist through these changing times, adapting while maintaining a recognizable identity, speaks to its remarkable versatility and the foresight of those who manage its evolution. Consider, too, the value of storytelling that emerges around products like KitKat. Major brands have learned that consumers do not just buy items, they invest emotionally in stories. Explaining the journey of a cocoa bean, the intricacies of wafer production, or the conching process can transform an otherwise mundane purchase into something more meaningful. Companies might craft advertisements or short documentaries that highlight sustainability projects, introduce viewers to the families who farm their cocoa, or show glimpses of the advanced machinery that underpins mass production. By doing so, they invite consumers to participate in a story that has depth and resonance, elevating the act of enjoying a KitKat into an appreciation of craft and commitment. Yet, this process of revelation is a double-edged sword. With greater insight comes higher expectations. As consumers learn more about what goes into producing their treats, they may demand even higher standards, less environmental impact, more equitable labor practices, better nutritional profiles. This pressure can drive positive change, compelling companies to innovate, invest in farmer training programs, adopt renewable energy sources, or reduce sugar content. In this sense, understanding the complexity of KitKat production empowers consumers to shape the future of the products they love, turning passive consumption into an active dialogue with the industry. If we shift our perspective toward the sensory experience itself, it's fascinating how knowledge can alter perception. Now, when you feel the texture of the chocolate against your tongue, you might recall the refining process that ensures the sugar and cocoa particles are ground so finely that no graininess remains. When you taste the balanced sweetness, you might think of the technicians who measured sugar ratios and tested them relentlessly. When you hear that crisp snap, you can appreciate the tempering process and the molecular structure of cocoa butter crystals that give the bar its stability. In this way, understanding the product's origin and manufacturing intricacies can heighten your enjoyment, making each mouthful an informed pleasure. This informed perspective can also foster a sense of connection across cultures. People in different countries may have distinct KitKat flavors, yet the underlying production principles remain largely the same. Despite cultural differences, everyone shares the universal delight that comes from a delicious chocolate treat. The knowledge that these bars are born of global synergy might encourage you to try new flavors when you travel, or to celebrate the variation that emerges when a familiar template meets local preferences. By acknowledging both the universal foundation and the regional twists, you become part of a worldwide community of curious tasters who appreciate how one brand can manifest in countless ways. As we continue moving forward, we might also consider how climate, politics, and economics shape the future supply and demand for cocoa. Cocoa trees are sensitive crops, and environmental changes can affect their yields. Political stability influences export processes, while currency fluctuations impact prices. Companies that rely on cocoa must be vigilant, investing in research to ensure the long-term viability of their supply chains. This might mean supporting breeding programs for more resilient cocoa varieties, funding improved irrigation infrastructure, or working with local cooperatives to implement fair pricing models that secure farmers' livelihoods. Each bar of KitKat implicitly reflects these macro-level strategies and negotiations, though we rarely consider them as we enjoy the final product. In times of global uncertainty, the familiarity of a KitKat bar can offer a comforting constant. No matter how turbulent the world outside may seem, the break afforded by a bite of chocolate-coated wafer is reassuring in its consistency. This emotional anchor can carry personal significance. For some, it might be a small reminder of home while living abroad. For others, a nostalgic throwback to youth. For still others, a treat symbolizing a hard-earned moment of rest after a busy day. By understanding the complexity behind it, the comfort takes on new layers, becoming not just a sensory reward, but a tribute to human cooperation and resilience. This narrative demonstrates that complexity and accessibility can coexist. Although millions of bars roll off assembly lines daily, nothing about the product's existence is truly simple. It is a carefully engineered artifact of human progress, and yet anyone can enjoy it, from children to the elderly, from connoisseurs who taste subtle flavor nuances to casual snackers who just want a quick treat. This universality is powerful. It's rare that a product can be so technically intricate behind the scenes while remaining universally approachable on the consumer end. In that way, KitKat stands as an example of how complexity, when managed skillfully, can feel effortless to the end user. You might wonder what further surprises await in the decades to come. Could emerging technologies like lab-grown cocoa butter or new fermentation techniques unlock flavors we've never experienced? Maybe AI-driven flavor pairing systems will suggest novel combinations that redefine what a KitKat can taste like. Or perhaps environmental considerations will lead to wrappers that are not only biodegradable, but infused with seeds that can be planted, contributing to reforestation efforts. Such ideas may sound fanciful today, but the track record of continuous innovation in food production suggests that today's dreams can become tomorrow's realities. All of these contemplations about flavor, sustainability, cultural resonance, technology, labor, and consumer empowerment are sparked by a single, mass-produced chocolate wafer bar. This is a testament to the fact that even the most commonplace items in our lives are expressions of intricate global systems. By pausing to reflect, we can peel back the layers of familiarity to reveal a world of meaning hidden behind the wrapper. This realization may encourage you to explore similar narratives behind other products, forging a more mindful relationship with consumption that honors the expertise, resources, and creativity behind the ordinary and the extraordinary alike. In the end, while the KitKat journey is undeniably shaped by commerce and profit, it also speaks to something more essential: our shared capacity to take raw materials from nature and transform them into something delightful, meaningful, and enduring. This act of transformation, perfected over time, is part of what it means to be human, pursuing better methods, cherishing flavor and quality, and connecting across boundaries to enrich each other's lives. The next time you break off a finger of KitKat, remember that you are quite literally tasting the culmination of centuries of chocolate evolution, decades of engineering refinement, and the ongoing commitment of countless individuals who take pride in bringing a simple, comforting pleasure to the world.